Hey guys, it's Allie, and this week's video is going to be a little bit of a hodgepodge. This first week of November has been a busy one, so I thought that might be a fun, interesting little thing that we could do. So I have my handy dandy espresso Patronum mug here, and I have in it a bunch of sticky notes that I didn't realize would all stick together, even though that is the purpose of sticky notes. But I have different topics on here of just different things that I've been thinking about throughout this week that I could make into a video, and so I put them all separately onto little things, and I'm going to talk about 5 little topics, or 6, I don't know how many I put in here, but just some quick little things to talk about throughout this first week of November. So obviously I know all of the different topics that are in this because I put them in there, but I am just going to kind of pull them out randomly, so we'll talk about them as they come. I figured that was easier for me than having to decide which order to put all of these different topics in. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of grab a random one. I do have one in here that's a different color because I thought of it after the fact, but I'll look away so I don't know which one's which. Alright, so first topic, the Muse of Nightmares read along. So for those of you who don't know or don't follow me on Twitter, I am taking part in a very casual read-along of Laini Taylor's second novel in the Strange the Dreamer duology called Muse of Nightmares. I actually have it right here because I just finished my chapters for today. I actually am I was behind, but I caught up on 2 days worth today. And so yeah, this book has been going super well. I absolutely adored Strange the Dreamer, and I was worried that I wouldn't be able to jump back into the world because for those of you who have read Strange the Dreamer, you know that this book is very dense in terms of the world building. There's like a lot of moving parts going on, but in such a cool and different way. And I was worried that I was going to get kind of lost and like forget characters and forget different aspects of the world, but it really just welcomes you back with open arms. The only series that I could compare it to in terms of how welcoming the world feels is Harry Potter, which is like the token you can always come back to Hogwarts type thing. That's how I feel about this world. I think it is so interesting, and I, as you can see, have already put a lot of little tabs in my book, and so I'm about, I guess, past halfway through now. I just read chapter 40 because I read ahead. I was supposed to stop at 39, but I read ahead. But yeah, so that has been going super well. I'm not actually sure at the end what I'm going to do, whether I'm going to post a review or if there's going to be some kind of live show situation. So I will keep you guys updated with that on my Twitter or on Instagram, so make sure you follow me there. My links are down below. And if a Muse of Nightmares review is something you'd be interested in, please let me know in the comments. I haven't done a review for Strange the Dreamer because I didn't have this YouTube channel when I read it, but if you would also like a review of Strange the Dreamer or a recommendation or a synopsis or something to decide if this kind of book is for you, then also let me know that in the comments, and I will consider making a book talk type video for that one. Topic number 2 is, I won't look because they're all orange except for the one yellow one. Okay, this one is, they're all stuck together. Oh, absolutely remarkable thing. This was just a little story that I wanted to share with you guys of something cool that happened to me. I was at a store called BJ's, which is kind of like a Costco. It's like a big, almost like a wholesale warehouse type place where you can buy things in bulk for cheaper prices. And we were there just to get some food and some supplies and like cleaning stuff. I don't even know what we were buying. But I went along with my parents because we were going to vote afterwards. And I got caught at the big table full of books, and my parents went on ahead without me, and they told me they'd meet me back when they cycled through, and I just stood looking at all of the different books that they had available. And one of the books that they had available was An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green, which is his debut novel, and I got really excited, and so I like picked it up, and right about that time my dad was coming back around from the rest of their shopping, and I was like, hey look, it's this book that I've been wanting, and my dad was like, oh cool. And I went to go put the book down, and my dad pointed to the book that was underneath it from the stack and was like, hold on, what does that say? And it was a little gold sticker that said signed copy on it. And so it was kind of like hidden underneath some of the ones that were unsigned. And I know that some of you guys think like, yeah, of course you can get signed copies at certain stores, but I've actually never owned a signed book from anybody before, and it was so exciting to me to see an actual signed copy of a book because I've never actually like held one in my hands, and I love Hank Green so much that it was a kind of really embarrassing experience for me because I immediately clutched the book to my chest and refused to let go of it in the middle of the store. And so of course I did end up buying the book, and so now I have it, though I am not allowed to read it yet because it is now claimed as a future Christmas present. So I'm not allowed to read it yet, but I do have the signed copy, and so that is very exciting, and it was just something I wanted to share with you because I thought it was cool. Next topic of the day is this one, which is, I think I can kind of read it through the thing. Okay, literary agent, that's what I thought it was. So this is actually not a story from this week, so I guess it doesn't really count as a in this week in review type thing, but it is something that I mentioned a while back on Twitter when it first happened, and I've been trying to find a way to work it into a video and just haven't found a place yet, and I figured this was a perfect opportunity to share this little story with you. So if you follow me on Twitter, you guys already know some of this, but a while back I was in a Starbucks to write, and while I was there, by happenstance, at the table next to me, a literary agent, or who I assume to have been a literary agent, was meeting with an author to discuss her manuscript. And so I, being nosy, kind of tried to listen in a little bit, not so much to hear about the author's book or what they were talking about, but more so to see what kind of questions the literary agent was asking, because I wanted to see what kind of things are important to know for my own future use. And the unfortunate thing is that I could hear very little because it was kind of loud in the Starbucks and he was facing away from me, so I couldn't really hear what he was saying, but I did hear one thing, and that was the importance of 3-act structure and the importance of at least knowing what it is and being able to go through your manuscript's basic 3-act structure in order to, when you're having these kind of meetings. Again, I don't know if he was a literary agent or if he was signing on to edit her book or what was going on there, but that was the one thing that I did hear. The one thing that I learned from that conversation was 3-act structure, and so in a future video I'm actually going to be going through 3-act structure and explaining what it is and how you can kind of expand upon it and also how you can simplify it in your own writing, so that if a literary agent ever asks you if you know about 3-act structure, you can say yes, because unfortunately the author who was meeting with him at the time didn't know what it was. So that's not anything against her novel, it might still be lovely and perfect, but it is good to at least know the kind of things that literary agents expect you to know or hope that you know when you're going into those kind of meetings. So that was that little story, and I will be making a video soon about 3-act structure, so stay tuned for that and make sure you ring the little the little bell, and I will have you notified the moment that that gets posted. Next topic is, it's easier now because they're not all stuck together. Okay. How's NaNoWriMo going? So, like I said before, it is November, which means NaNoWriMo. And for those of you who are doing NaNoWriMo or are familiar with NaNoWriMo, you might just want to watch this cute video of a cat for the next 30 seconds while I explain it to people who may not know what it is. So NaNoWriMo it stands for National Novel Writing Month, and basically that equates to 50,000 words in the 30 days of the month of November. And usually that translates to roughly 1,600 words every single day. And so that's what I've been doing. I haven't done a NaNoWriMo since I was a freshman in high school, which was like 8 years ago. Oh God. But yeah, so it's been a while. And I'm doing it for the first time since then, and it's actually been going kind of okay, which is why I didn't make an entire video just devoted to my first week of NaNoWriMo. I really just kind of was doing all right. I started the midnight. As soon as it turned to November 1st on my clock, I started writing. I wrote 2,000 some words that night, and then the next day on November 1st proper, I wrote another 1,700 words, I think. And from then on, I've written somewhere between 1,700 and 2,000 words every single day, with the exception of the 6th, which was the election day. And I didn't have to go vote because I voted early, but I did kind of get sucked into the watching the numbers tick in thing that always happens on every single election on all of the news. So I tried to write, but just I couldn't do it. So I decided to let myself take off that day, and then that was yesterday as of filming this, so 2 days ago for you. And I then last night, which was the 7th, wrote another 2,000 words, I think, and that was pretty grueling. I didn't have a very high motivation day yesterday, but I did manage it. It took me until 1 a.m., but I did get the words out, and I basically had to use that entire time to fix a mistake that I made because I had jumped forward a chapter and I'd messed up the timeline of the whole thing, and I needed to go back and fix it. And so I literally have a chapter currently in my manuscript called A Whole Mess, and it just has 4,000 words in it, all of just disjointed scenes that I put in the wrong place and now needed to restructure. So that was what I did yesterday, and in fixing it, I ended up adding another 1,400 words. And so then I started into the next chapter, getting back on track with the forward momentum of the story, and that's what got me up to another, I think, 600 words, so roughly 2,000 words last night. That puts my manuscript currently at 34,000 something words, but that means that of those, what I've written in November was 14,000 something words. So it's going okay. I mean, I have motivational issues the same as everybody else does, but there's only been that one day that I couldn't find it within me to write, and by, all of my struggles, I have managed to put myself in a situation where taking a day off didn't actually hurt my word count. I'm still very much on track, and so NaNoWriMo is going okay. It's a slog, but it's fine for me so far. We're gonna see if I eat those words pretty soon, but it's okay for now. Next topic is this one. There's only one more left, so this is going to be, or no, is there? Oh, yes, shout out. So this one, I pulled it earlier and then I had to put it back because I realized that all of my shout outs have to do with NaNoWriMo, and I had to wait until I talked about NaNoWriMo to do the shout outs. So, shout outs! The main thing about this is that there is so much NaNoWriMo content out there, especially this month, but a lot of people make really interesting vlogs and talk about it on Twitter in very funny ways, and I wanted to just kind of spread that a little bit. In addition to that, NaNoWriMo, the website, also sends pep talks, they call them, by actual, established, published authors, and they basically, it's a letter that this author writes to everybody who is participating in NaNoWriMo and giving some encouragement. And this week it was Andy Weir Weir? Why can I never pronounce people's names in this channel? Whatever. But anyway, he wrote The Martian, if any of you guys know that. It was also made into a movie, which was a very good movie. But he wrote the pep talk this week, so I also have a quote from that pep talk that I wanted to share with you guys. So, that being said, my first shout out is to Alexandra Roselyn, and she is a YouTuber. You've probably heard her heard of her on my channel before. She's the one who created the fall writing tag that I did a while back, and she is just an absolutely lovely person, and she has an absolutely lovely channel. And she has been posting NaNoWriMo vlogs where not only does she talk about her own NaNoWriMo experience and how she is doing and where her word count is at, she also gives some handy dandy tips for people who are participating in NaNoWriMo, or even if you're not participating in NaNoWriMo, they're just kind of good writing tips in general to help people on their way to meeting their word count. So I will put her channel down below. You should also follow her Twitter because she has made some pretty funny posts about NaNoWriMo on her Twitter, so I'll link that as well. And so that is Alexandra Roselyn, and you should definitely go check out her vlogs. And the last little thing that I wanted to shout out to you, not really shout out, but rather just share with you, is, like I said, this pep talk from Andy Weir. Those of you who are on NaNoWriMo but don't pay attention to the pep talks, or if you're not doing NaNoWriMo and therefore don't have access to the pep talks, I wanted to share with you a specific line from this previous pep talk so that you could be inspired and motivated as I was, because this pep talk came at a very poignant time for me. So the quote goes, "Writing isn't like playing music where the act itself is rewarding. It's more like gardening where the work is hard and unpleasant, but the result is beautiful." Now, I do have a little bit of a qualm with this quote because while I do think a lot of writing can be grueling and a lot of it can feel not so rewarding, there are a lot of elements to the process of writing that are really rewarding for me and for a lot of writers, and sometimes just the act of writing and of coming up with new ideas for stories and for your characters and for the plot can be rewarding in and of itself, in the same way that playing music is rewarding in and of itself. However, I do agree that it is often very grueling, and it was just kind of a beautiful little line. I like the little simile there. So I wanted to share that with you, but I also wanted to share the line that made my personal motivation just kind of go through the roof. So that one is that you have to accept that your story will change as you write it. Something that's perfect and awesome in your mind will often be stupid when you write it down. This is not a failure on your part, and it doesn't mean you suck. It means you're a writer and you have begun the phase of making your story better. I like that. So for those of you who know already, I plotted my book before I started writing it, but already NaNoWriMo has kind of plowed through those outlines and changed the story, not at its fundamental core, but significantly in the little details. And I was really struggling with that, feeling like I wasted all of my time, and I was kind of struggling to motivate myself to write because I no longer had the direction that I thought I was going to have going into this draft. But reading something like that made me realize that yes, you do have to have those changes and that open mind in order to let your story change itself as you write. Now, I am not a pantser, and I will not be a pantser until the day I die. I tried that before and it's just not for me, but I definitely see the merits of being the plantser that I am, and maybe even outline a little bit less than I did already, because as much as it was beneficial to me getting to know the story and the characters, I kind of like it better how it is now. So so we'll see how that goes. But I wanted to share those quotes with you. Again, if you didn't see the pep talk, or if you aren't doing NaNoWriMo and therefore don't have access to those pep talks, there's some hashtag knowledge from Andy Weir, we're and I am going to go write because I haven't written yet today and I need to work on that. So I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to leave a little like and a little comment. I love talking with you guys so much. You have no idea how excited I get when I see I have a new comment. It really is kind of embarrassing. But I also get really giddy when I see that I have a notification, and then like my heart kind of sinks when I see that it's like, you know, Vlogbrothers posted a video. I'm like, well, yay, but also, aw. But anyway, so please leave a like, comment, and if you're not already subscribed to this channel and you do enjoy this content or looking at my face, then go and subscribe, and please do ring that notification bell. It really does help me out a lot. And I will talk to you guys soon. I will see you in the next video. Hey guys, if you like this video, there are 3 things that you could do that would really help me out. First, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Second, let me know what you think in the comments. And third, check out my website, wordhamster.com, for courses and contests. When you do any of those things, you are supporting me and my work with young writers. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.